Thank you for tuning in to the reading produced by Black Spectrum Network. Please go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com to purchase a private psychic reading. If you can't get enough of my content, go to patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. For as little as $2 a month, you can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. Please like this video, click the subscribe button, and leave us some feedback in the comments section. Okay, so I'm going to begin this reading to talk about the Braxtons. I'm going to shuffle my tarot, and then I'm going to ask questions pertaining to the Braxtons. Okay, so the first question that I have for the Braxtons: did they go on strike due to low pay? I want to know if that was true. Did they go on strike due to low pay, or was it for another reason? Did they go on strike from the Braxton family values due to low pay? So the cards are saying that it was okay. So whoever's the youngest Braxton, it was their idea to go on strike. I get that. The cards are pretty much saying that these women. So if it's low pay, it's not exactly low pay. It's just that the Braxton family values is mentally exhausting for them. It causes them to get sick. So I know that for example, Tony Braxton has lupus. I know that filming the Braxton family values, for example, would be stressful for them. So I feel like stress would exacerbate her problems with lupus, for example. So if they're dealing with any medical issues, the show exacerbates their health problems. At the same time, there are also a lot of demands that come with doing this show. It is very intrusive into their lives. So they aren't paid enough money for what. So yeah, I mean, it's essentially low pay. You know what I mean? So it's like, the amount of emotional labor that they have to put into this job, the intellectual tokens that they have to expend to entertain people, and especially because they're family members, I'm saying that this is, they wanted more money for those reasons, because it causes them to get sick. I'm also seeing here that another thing that the production wanted to focus on was their father, and their father's history, history with raising them, or his lack thereof raising them. There was a greater emphasis on the role that their dad played in their upbringing, and I see that was creating a bigger rift. I don't watch the Braxton family values, but I see that this was creating a rift between them. So the production wanted to focus on their father's role in creating their family dysfunction, was also causing for them to revisit old issues, ripping the Band-Aid off and fighting over old shit that they had already thought that they resolved. And I'm also saying where the Three of Cups is talking about how their father was starting a new relationship, where he had a woman on the side. And they also wanted to talk more about that and how that may have affected them, basically revisiting things with their dad, and they didn't feel like they were being compensated well enough for it. Okay, so the cards are also talking about, now they're talking about, I think the Seven of Swords is Tony Braxton. I see it as they want that Tony Braxton wants to keep her. Obviously the production would want to focus on Tony Braxton's marriage to Birdman. And I see it as they make up and break up a lot. but they're not to the point that they divorced. It's kind of like, they're pretty hot and cold. Like Tony's like a sex kitten. I get this energy about her that she's very submissive, very sexual with him. And what I mean more specifically is she has like a stripper energy around him. And I get from him that he's more pimp-ish, but it works for them. But I also get that Tony Braxton is the more dominant energy in the relationship in terms of Birdman is emotional. So she definitely is the one that, if she were to kick him out, she's the one that puts him on the couch. She's the one that that starts acting funny first. They're also saying that. So that was one thing. So I get that was from Tony's perspective. I don't know all the Braxtons, but the strength in the page of Hazard's cards are saying that there's whoever is the most stable of the sisters in terms of her emotions. Like she's the one that everybody, no one typically has a problem with her. I get. And this may be Tawanda. I'm not exactly sure of the names, but I think it's Tawanda, the one that is that she has her dad's nose. Anyway, I see her as I see her being okay with everything, on the show. I don't see her trying to complain about the low pay, but I see it as she's pretty much been. I say that the burden that she carries is carrying everybody else's burden. Like she assists everybody with their problems. She goes through her own things, and people are there for her. But I get that she plays superhero to her sisters' problems, and then it's something with somebody's children as well. A storyline with a child and it's a little boy. I get a little boy child that a storyline was focused on him, and it just they felt like overall this is the energy that I'm getting. They felt like WeTV was doing a comprehensive study, an overall study of their life, and with the show going on for so many years, they had to really start. Like, I get this about the Braxtons is that they have real drama. It's not really contrived. Just naturally, they attract drama into their lives, and some of it they don't, want to be shown. Obviously, there are things that they don't want to be shown on camera. They have things that they want to keep private. And the more the show goes on, the more that it has to reach into their private lives in order to keep its authenticity. But at the same time, they're not getting paid more. They're not getting paid. They're just not getting paid enough. So let me see. Are they getting paid enough? Let's see what the spirits think. The spirits are saying that whoever the youngest one is, she feels like, I see it as whoever the youngest is, she's coming up as Empress in the Wheel, and then it's the Wheel of Fortune card. With the youngest showing up as the Empress, it's like she feels like she's above the Braxton family values. She feels like, and this may be Tamar, but she feels like how do I say this? I wouldn't say that she feels that she's better than reality TV. She feels that she's better than a lot of people, but she doesn't feel like she's getting paid enough. She doesn't feel like she would get paid enough for anything. The Wheel of Fortune is saying that because of the show, this woman has. And this is probably Tamar, because I can't see it being Tony Braxton, because I don't even know who else has a real career out of all them other than Tamar and Tony. But I guess this is Tamar, and the show has I want to say the show has helped this particular individual is just as much as it's hurt them. You know, every time that there's a victory, there are two losses. If there's a public victory, there are two public losses. And then the King of Wands is also saying that there was her husband was also her husband also thought it was good for them to strike as well. But I get that this strike has been going on for some time. I think that they've been and I get that they've been striking in this way, that they had filmed less, that they decided to stop filming with each other. They started doing passive aggressive things to the production. So this obviously blew up, but it was mainly this Empress card, the youngest girl with her husband, that decided to start the strike. Okay. All right. So my next question is, well, I was going to ask how did we TV treat them, but I guess that's already been answered. So Tamar Braxton said that her sister Tracy is dead to her because she decided to film the Braxton family values. Did Tamar really mean that? Yep, Tamar meant it. The death card is saying that she wants to end. Tamar won't be talking to Tracy for a while. And if they do talk, Tamar is going to be combative all the time. She's going to be combative, or she will be defensive. She feels hurt because she wanted them all to be on a united front. The Ten of Swords is saying that Tamar feels like she put herself out there. She put her heart out there, and she put her career on the line to do this. And the Ten of Swords is also saying that she feels like Tracy manipulated the situation. She feels like Tracy is trying to take her. She's like, I bet, Tamar is like, I bet Tracy's trying to take my share of the money. I bet, she's trying to take my share of the money. I bet she came back because they gave her my share of the money. And then you have the Eight of Cups, and this is talking mainly about, it's talking about Tamar wanting Tracy to feel how she feels. I get this energy from Tracy that Tracy's about her money. She's like, you know what, I'm going to get my money. They're all fame hungry, but Tracy, I get this energy about her that she does it, and I don't know them differently. I know Tony and I know Tamar, but I get from this Tracy energy that she's low skilled. Like, she doesn't have a lot of skills. I also get she has a slower energy, slower vibe about her. And she was on board with the strike at first, but then how do I explain this? You know how you have their friend that says, you know what, today I'm going to quit my job, fuck this job. And then, when it's time for them to quit the job, they renege on it. I get that energy. Like, Tracy's very cowardly, so she decided to stop striking and to go back to work. And that hurt Tamar because Tamar wanted them to be on a united front. And I get this energy about Tamar that it's a do as I say and as I do type of vibe about her. Tamar evaluates you by how you act, and if you act similarly to her, she enjoys you. How is Evelyn Braxton as a mother? Well, Evelyn Braxton was she was a tiger mom. She was very involved in her children's lives. I get this energy from her that she was overly protective, overly involved, and really pushed them to do music. I get that she has a she reminds me kind of Joe Jackson. I wouldn't say, it's physically abusive, but I do get that she wanted her daughters to work hard and she believed that they could all be talented singers. I get that yes, it's like the Braxtons are known to sing. Sort of stigma about them. Wherever they grew up, it's like people knew them to be singers, and Evelyn, it was her daughter's destiny to work in the music industry. And I get that Evelyn was a tiger mom. She pushed her kids to practice music. She was trying to figure out who the star or the celebrity child would be. With all of her, with her 5 daughters. I get that she felt like, somebody's got to be successful is going to work. And I get this energy about Evelyn Braxton as she grew up during a time where, obviously women they couldn't access as much capital. And they didn't, and she was a black woman. So it's not like she had job offers and college acceptance letters out the woo-ha. But she definitely prayed for a husband or a man to help take care of her. Like, becoming a mother and somebody's wife was the best thing to happen to her. Because it was almost like that was her signing a contract, and once that contract was signed, it was like her record deal. You know what I'm saying? Having a husband and being married was her record deal, and her kids were her meal ticket. The 5 Hazards is talking about they grew up poor, but Evelyn Braxton made it work. It's like she had a lot of mouths to feed, but she also had a lot, like all of her kids had ambition. She put it in, Evelyn Braxton was one of those moms that because she wanted her kids to be superstars, she told them to be superstars. So I get like a dance moms type of vibe about her, if that makes any sense. Okay, so then the 4 Hazards is talking about, I get this energy that she spent a lot of time she spent just as much time rearing her kids and conditioning them to be superstar musicians, and she spent just as much time fighting other women off from her husband. I do get a Rolling Stone energy from, I think his name is Michael Braxton. I didn't write it down, but I think it's Michael Braxton. But I get a Rolling Stone energy from him, but I also get an energy from her that just screams she's fought women for her husband or her child's father, if that makes any sense. So that's how she was as a mom. She definitely I get that she endured a lot of infidelity because she was one of those women that wanted to she wanted to really save face for the public. She didn't grow up with a lot. She didn't have a lot. So when she finally got married and had her own husband and her own kids, she valued posturing herself in society, and she wanted to keep all of their drama, she wanted to make the drama look pretty. And she taught her daughters how to do that. But I also get that she needed to do that because if she succumbed to the pressures of infidelity and of living in a menacing society, she would have ended up depressed. So at her highest vibration for how she got over her trauma in unhealthy ways, she endured it and made her life look pretty. She made herself look pretty at the same time, made her daughters look pretty. She was a look good while I'm striking out sort of woman, but she hasn't struck out because she has first world problems. Okay. Did Evelyn Braxton lie about Vince fighting Tamar and having to barricade herself in a in a room to protect herself from Vince? Did she, the high priestess, the three of hazards, the tower? That was Evelyn Braxton's first time seeing Tamar get hit that in that way. Because the cards are pretty much saying that it's to be assumed that what she said was true. Okay. So it's true, but from Evelyn Braxton's vantage point, the high priestess card is saying that this was secret information. I don't think that she knew that Tamar was being physically abused to that degree. I think that I do get that Evelyn Braxton, she has a woman's intuition. So she knew that Tamar was definitely not, she knew that Tamar was, how do I say this? She knew Tamar was not financially independent in her marriage, okay? She knew she wasn't financially independent the way she needed to be. And she also knew that Vince kept her on a leash with his money. He knows that, Evelyn Braxton knows that Tamar has this attraction to men with money. She will endure a lot of stuff if a man has money. I also get this energy from Tamar that yes, she's attracted to bigger men, but part of why she chooses to be with a bigger man is because she feels like he's like a bear. He provides financial security. He will keep her looking good. The high priestess is essentially saying what was in the dark, was revealed. Her intuition was confirmed. The three of hazards is saying that, this, I get that this terrified Evelyn Braxton because she feared that Tamar would end up physically disabled in some way from the encounter. I get that, and because of the way that this card is, I get that there was something about Tamar crawling on the ground when this happened, like crawling away from Vince, trying to get away from him. And the tower is saying that this dramatically changed her viewpoint of Vince. I get that she refused to continue to turn the other cheek about things. I hold on. The cards are still speaking. She feels like Vince is a master. Vince is a puppet master. She feels like Vince has successfully killed Tamar's inner spirit, and that Vince has coached her into she feels like Vince coaches Tamar through pretending like things don't happen to her, like the Tamar's not abused. If that makes any sense. Yes, Vince coaches Tamar through the pretending. The Queen of Wands and then the Hangman is saying that she feels, no, this is about Tamar. So this is all true. I'm sorry, y'all. This is all true. But Tamar has Tamar has been like, she's fractured, like she's fractured a bone from this. You know what I'm saying? Like, her body has been hurt. I get that, like, maybe like he broke a finger or something like that, or it's something small, like, she bent her elbow, or there was a fracture in her knee or something. I'm not a medical doctor, okay? I'm not that type of doctor, but I get the Hangman card. So this is saying that Evelyn Braxton didn't really tell Tamar to leave the marriage alone until after this happened. Okay, so there were other ugly things, like verbally ugly things that Vince would say to Tamar, but Tamar would say ugly things to him as well. It went back and forth. But this was when Evelyn Braxton had told her daughter to leave it alone. At that point, okay? I'll say that as well. All right. Is Tamar really dating an African man? The cards say yes. Yeah, this man is foreign because he's coming up as a King of Cups. He's foreign. He is what I get about this man is that he's I get from this man, he's a lot he doesn't entertain Tamar's comedic side the same way that Vince would. I get from this guy that he's entertained by her, but he's very, very masculine. You know, he would never allow for Tamar to put her wig on his head. They're dating, but I don't think that this is gonna be long term. And I'm not exactly sure if this is gonna go public either. I get that this relationship for Tamar is not deep. It's not really running deep. And I get that it's not running deep because she's not really getting into his head. She doesn't really want to get to know him. It's rather a relationship that she's transitioning into. It's just a transition relationship. It's to help her to get acclimated to really dating and dating as a single woman and doing it without having to deceive Vince. I'm also getting that she will be very private with this relationship because she's not really I'm getting this energy from Tamar that she's just like questioning a lot, even like in terms of her sexuality. Like she's just very open. And she doesn't want to make moves she doesn't want to make a move too quickly, but she does want to present like she's good at pretending. So she wants to show that she's over it, even though she's not over it. So she is dating someone, but I'm not sure if it's going to be public, and I don't think it runs that deep. Who molested her and her family? Who molested Tamar and her family? It was, I get that this, like, she was molested by a man and a woman that were married to each other. I get that I get that this happened repeatedly, and I get that Tamar told about it, and I get that there was a huge blow up about it. From Evelyn Braxton, not so much her dad. So I just get this vibe that it was like I want to say an aunt and an uncle energy, or cousins, like married cousins that her cousin that was married, or like an aunt and an uncle. And I get like a nanny babysitting situation about this. I don't do like fortune telling readings, so I would need to have names or potential people to pull, like potential names to pull cards on to see. But whoever that is in their family, that's the description that I get. Okay. How does Tony feel about Tamar's success? Tony feels like I get that there's a bit of jealousy from Toni Braxton about it, that she's not, how do I say this? Toni Braxton knows that Tamar is honestly now just as popular as she is. They're especially with when you think about a younger generation, because I'm seeing Toni in my mirror. I'm seeing Toni focusing on how Tamar has attracted a younger fan base, and that has helped Tamar to, do her concerts and, award shows. I get that Toni Braxton is a little bit jealous because she feels like Tamar. She knows that Tamar is very talented, but she feels like Tamar. She doesn't respect the type of success that Tamar has. She feels like Tamar's success was easy. She's like, you tried to act young. You tried to be a part of the younger generation. I mean, that's where your fan base is. She's not jealous of her record. Like, she doesn't like. It's like, I get this energy from Toni Braxton that as an older sister, she's like, I've done this before. And, I'm glad that you're finally getting the success that I have, but we don't have the same type of success. So it is hating a little bit because, but it's the truth. They don't have the same type of success, but, a fan is a fan. You know what I'm saying? No human being is really more valuable than the other when somebody's handing you $5. Whether it's a homeless person handing you $5 or Beyonce handing you $5, it's still the same $5. You know what I mean? So in that way, I get that because Toni has such a fragmented opinion about Tamar's success that it's not wholly supportive. I don't get that I don't get that Toni Braxton. I don't think Toni Braxton would promote her sisters as tours. I don't think that she would promote. I don't get that. I don't think that she would. I think that she would promote Birdman more vigorously than she would Tamar. I get that she's happy that Tamar has her own money, but she also feels like it came at an expense as well. She feels like Tamar is trapped in being a caricature, and that's how she has to sell albums. She feels like it's based more about her on her person. Like she's like, I know you're talented, but a lot of what your career has been built upon is a personality. And so I get that Toni Braxton doesn't have a lot of respect for that type of success. At the same time, Toni Braxton also recognizes where she needs a younger fan base to continue in order to continue staying afloat. That's just the reality of things. That's just it. That's how I have to say it. It's not. It's very. Toni Braxton's very guarded. And she doesn't really. And I get that she doesn't really say a lot, or she tries not to think about her family a lot. Like not in a bad. Like it's like she tries to stay out of it. She wants to be involved, but it's like Shawnee O'Neal. She wants to be involved, but she doesn't really want to be involved in the drama. She wants to be around, but she doesn't want the attention focused on her. She loves her family, but she doesn't like the drama. Okay. What is Toni Braxton's relationship like with Birdman?
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the skyline view. Ooh, I love this skyline